And it makes it very interesting, and from an acting point of view, much more challenging, because you have to find those moments, and you have to kind of rely on Tim Miller, who is the director, to dial me forward or back, to say, well, this was a little bit too human. Let's do another take where you act human, but you're still clumsy and you're still machine-like the way you talk.
Arnold's the king of action films. Arnold in person is impressive, but Arnold on camera is magic. And I can't explain why the best actors have this undeniable presence when they're on camera, and Arnold is just one of those guys.
When Arnold finally got here, it was both mundane and so surreal. While I'd be like, damn, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I feel really lucky to be acting with him and just like seeing him looking at me, and I was like, I cannot believe this. This is not real, like I've seen him so much, and he's such a big star, like worldwide, and I cannot believe that yet. It's like a dream, but it's real. I'm
delighted to work again with Cameron, to work with Tim Miller, who I admire tremendously, and to work with Linda Hamilton and with all the new cast.
I'm so happy to be with Arnold again. I kind of want to hug him all the time. I don't know what that's about. And the shared sense of history and the things that being back together with him bring to mind. You've been tracking me?
If you want to keep your phone in a bag of potato chips, then keep your phone in a bag of potato chips.
Second team in, Jack's working.
I like a good action film as much as anybody else, but if I don't care about the characters when shit starts blowing up, then I don't really care about the film. First and foremost, I really want to make you care about the characters, and I think we achieve that. All of them are compelling and interesting in their own right. Natalia is the face of the franchise moving forward. She's the new John Connor.
She's kind of the audience. It's just the same reaction that any of us will have if we're working, and suddenly a Terminator appears and someone is trying to kill you.
Come here. Let me show you around.
In this day and age, when there's so much going on with immigration and closing borders, that just seemed like a really interesting thing for us to do, that the most important person in the world is this blue-collar girl, this nobody from Mexico City.
Dani Ramos, she's a good person and a great human being, but she's not the one you would point to in a lineup and say, oh yeah, leader of the future, leader of humanity, absolutely.
How do we win? We win by keeping you alive.
She doesn't have that air in the same way that Sarah Connor didn't have that.
Natalia is our hope for the future for this franchise, and she's got it like 150%. She's the most fluid actress I have ever worked with, and I mean ever. She's just got the most amazing instincts.
I love Natalia and Linda so much, but it's a very delicate balance having 3 people in a group. It's a hard balance to strike, and it's been so sort of seamless and loving and wonderful. I think we've been able to be really weak around each other and really strong around each other, and it's just been such a wonderful thing to go through this with them.
We are all like strong, independent women that we're fighting, but I really like the fact that we're 3 women in the new Terminator.
I'm not gonna live in fear the rest of my life, even if your plan means that might not be long. I want to stand and fight. So we choose our weapons and our ground. We're gonna set up a
Kill box.
and then we're gonna use me as bait. And then we kill that thing. Okay?
Grace is the character that I think the audience will identify with, and she is the star of the action set pieces, and she's the character that dies at the end. So I have to make you care about her, so her death is meaningful.
She is this sort of nobody who gets plucked out of unimportant existence and is called upon to take the reins in her own life and to act bravely and selflessly. And I think we're all really invested in stories where people risk not just their lives, but their comfort, and they take the reins of fate.
Talk fast.
You first.
With Grace being this augmented super soldier from the future, it opened up a whole other world of opportunities for how these action scenes could be. Grace is built to fight Terminators, so super speed, stronger than normal, ability to take a lot of damage, enhanced senses, hearing, eyesight, things like that, but still with all that human heart and human drive.
Is she good? Is she bad? She's definitely not entirely human. How human is she? She's a pretty interesting character.
She's a fantastic actor, and she's very emotional. emotional. She's got her career in indie films mostly, and she has a lot of humanity. You instantly like her, which is why I chose her, because I need the audience to identify.
Mackenzie is supposed to be a super soldier from the future, so we had to put on a lot of muscle mass to make her look as badass as she does right now.
Ever seen something like that? Ever made that up? The training was important for the way that I carried myself. I think all of the aesthetics are really fun and it's what you point to, but more than anything, I wanted to carry myself the way a soldier or an athlete carried themselves, of which I am neither. I never carried myself that way.
She has been eating 5 times a day, every 3 hours, just to make sure that she gets the protein, so we feed her muscles with proteins all the time.
Mackenzie is going to get the attention for how she's transformed her body, and it's wonderful to see what she's done and the strength that she's discovered.
It's been really intense, but it's been great. I think when you anticipate this, it's like a movie montage in your head where I'm like listening to Eye of the Tiger and pumping weights and then boxing and everyone's like, wow, she's great. But instead it was like really humiliating and humbling most of the time, and people being like, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Take cover.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, well, you're not an augmented super soldier from the future, are you?
We spent a lot of time on our new nemesis from the future, but he's pretty damn spectacular. He's played by Gabriel Luna, and character name is Rev 9.
It's just this evolved hybrid of the T-800 and the T-1000. Matte black alloy endoskeleton with a mercurius liquid exoskeleton that can operate remotely from the central CPU.
It's fun, man. Well, here we are. Let's finish this scene.
This new Terminator had to be more human than human, to steal a phrase from Blade Runner, because it could be. So if it's easier to talk his way through a situation, he'll do that. He can be very charming, he can be very persuasive, he can be very human.
Sorry. Metal hip. 2 tours in Afghanistan. All right. Thank you for your service.
So I wanted someone who could be charming one moment and then the eyes go dead and he's a killer. And Gabriel Luna was that guy.
Terminator 2 I saw when I was 10 years old. Mother took me there. That was my childhood, and as a huge fan of Arnold's, and I'm still a bit at a loss for words.
Give me the girl. No. You can't stop me.
He couldn't tell me how he does it, but it's pretty interesting to see that the mask drop or the mask go up, depending on how you look at it, because Gabe's a pretty nice guy. And he becomes this stone cold killer that you believe is there for one purpose, and one purpose alone is to kill this young woman. So it's cool.
All Tim really wanted to know is like, are you fast? I was like, yeah, I'm fast. But there's so much you can do if you really focus on the geometry of your body and the shapes you're making. And so that became really, really important to me, was just to develop that physical vocabulary.
They wanted me to sprint, you know, just full on, full tilt, come get this helicopter. But I thought maybe, you know, it's just an idea. What if I just power walk it?
Gabriel is doing an incredible job playing Gabriel, the Rev 9. And just the way his physicality and his mannerisms have changed for Gabriel are really, really beautiful to watch. He's like a dancer. They're really great. So whenever I get a chance to fight him and perform against him, he's made himself so precise. It really does feel like you're fighting an advanced machine. And I am just a lowly super soldier.
Knowing that you're going to face off with Arnold Schwarzenegger at some point really, really lights a fire under your tail, just to make sure that once you come to that face-off, that you can stand there eye to eye and people in the audience will believe that you're a threat to the great Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What makes this a direct sequel to T1 and T2 is as much about the tone as it is about the narrative.
Every character is important for a different reason, and every character needs to be the most important character at different times.
You want to cross the U.S. border with an undocumented Mexican national and a woman who had her own episode on America's Most Wanted.
You have a story that people understand and characters that they care about, and then some blistering action all around that.
The fact that Arnold's coming back again to play his character and Linda to finish the story of Sarah Connor is the best of all possible worlds. If it had just been a continuation of the Terminator movies, I wouldn't be here. It's the fact that we get to finish this story, the stories of these characters, is what makes it so unique.
The Terminator has just killed your whole family. What do you do?